This is Jess and Kent from Juliet Ruin, and you're listening to, oh crap, what is it again?
The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Oh my gosh, I was thinking about butter. I was going to say butterly delicious. Look what you've done. Okay. This is Jess and Kent from Juliet Ruin, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Right
Awesome.
on.
Brutally delicious!
Hey, you're listening to the Brutally Delicious Podcast. I'm Bruce.
My name is Chris today.
Wow. Wow, so formal and important sounding. Anyway, today we've got Juliet Ruin Band, and we're going to go ahead and give a call and see what she's got to say.
All right, let's talk her up.
You doing all right, man?
Oh, yeah. She's been a busy day. But
Yeah, it's been a weird week, but you okay doing these?
Tom Kiefer, my God, as soon as you sent me that, I messaged my buddy Mike, who does all the web work for 70,000 Tons of Metal, because he's like a hardcore 80s hair metal guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, dude, we got Tom Kiefer. He's like, fuck off. Oh, my God, that new album is so good.
Nice.
I guess it came out
I sent it to you, right?
Yeah, I guess it came out on Friday, right, the album?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe today or last week. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was last week. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but I'll be listening to it this weekend. But yeah, I was just laughing.
Real quick, I'll tell you a funny story.
Yeah.
So I went to class the other day, and I had sent, you're already laughing. I had sent the professor some correspondence back and forth about something. And so I went to class and sat through the whole thing. And at the end, I turned in the paper, and I guess I didn't realize, but at the bottom of my signature line, it's got my Instagram. It says Old Fat Metal Guy. So I hand in the stuff, and he says, "What does that mean, Old Fat Metal Guy?" So I told him, and he's like, "No way. I'm like a super Priest fan. And dude, I found this crazy metalhead guy, and I spent like an hour and a half after class in the courtyard just discussing bands. We always talk about like the community thing, and there it was.
Yeah, as soon as somebody sees metal, suddenly they're your friend and family member, and it's like an underground culture that I kind of like. I think of it like the new hippies.
Yeah.
You know,
but it was really weird because he's like this, forgive me if he's listening now, but like sort of a nerdy academic sort of type, with the glasses and not. And even me, after doing this for so long, I still have that stereotype built into my head. And I was like, yeah, why do you ask that? And then when I told him, he started going on about, but he knew stuff like, he's like, oh, my favorite band is Fate's Warning. And he was pulling up some really like obscure stuff. And I'm like, wow, this guy really is a fan.
That's awesome.
Pretty funny. Yeah.
I absolutely love meeting metalheads. Like I told you the story of the Jehovah's Witness, did I not?
Yes, you did.
That's one thing I'll never forget as long as I live.
That is funny.
Oh,
all right, so we're at 2:30.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
Right before we go, one more funny story. This one takes the cake. So you know how people walk around and hand out religious pamphlets at your door and whatever?
Yeah.
So we have a sign on our door. It says no soliciting. No one listens to that sign.
Oh, of course.
So anyways, the other day I'm going to take the dog for a walk. I open the door and there's this guy standing there staring at me. And I'm like, hello? And he's like, oh shit. And he throws the pamphlet in my door handle and runs.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding. I was like, what the hell is with this guy?
Would you scare the crap out of him?
I don't know what his deal was. He's like, I'm going to be sneaky and get this religious flyer in there. That'll really show these pagans.
Well, I guess he's probably got like a quota to give out, and you kind of ruined it and surprised them.
I guess.
That's weird.
I was just like, why are you running? If you're trying to get me to convert to Christianity, running is probably the last thing you should do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's funny. That's really funny, actually. Did he stop at all? He just kept going?
No, he kept going to the next house.
That's excellent.
Oh, sorry, I said that like a Canadian. He went to the next house.
Oh yeah, hoose. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Who are we speaking with?
Jess and Kent.
Oh, we got you both. Excellent. How are you? You guys are doing well?
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yourselves?
Awesome. Yeah, we're doing well here. That's my partner, Chris. I don't know if you have your cameras on, but That's Chris.
Hey.
Hello.
Where you guys at today?
We're just at home in Sherwood Park.
Oh, you're
That
from
upbeat?
Sherwood Park.
Yeah, I knew that was going to catch him.
Holy shit! You're right near where I grew up.
Oh, right on.
I grew up in Drayton Valley.
Oh, right on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I know that sound. Oh, right on. I was actually just in Edmonton in July, and it was fucking cold.
Yeah, it was kind of shitty this year. July sucked.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I had to wear a jacket. I was like, this is terrible. Get me back to DC. I need some warmth.
Yeah. Seriously.
I know nothing about being up there. So, anyway,
You want to know what it's like?
sure, please tell me.
Let them tell us. What's
All
it
right,
like?
tell us.
What's it like living near the City of Champions?
Well, I mean, 8 months out of the year, it's dark before like 5 or 6 p.m., which is awesome. And you get
Right.
the temperature range, the maximum is about 80 degrees from like the 40s to the 40s on either side.
It's fun. It's unpredictable.
And Bruce, just so when he
Nice.
says 40s to 40s, that's Celsius. You know, that thing the rest of the world uses.
I don't even understand that. So, what do I get to subtract 10, add 40, and scratch my head, and then I'll get something else?
It'd be like 100 to like minus, I don't know, something in Fahrenheit.
Minus 40.
Oh, really?
Because minus 40 Fahrenheit and minus 40 Celsius are the same temperature.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's because
Very
Fahrenheit
interesting.
makes no sense. That's why.
So, two things, guys. I don't know if you've ever listened to these shows, but they kind of ramble on a little bit. So, bear with us, especially when Chris is talking. And two, shoot, I even forgot what I was going to talk about. Yeah, we kind of just go on about things. So, bear with us for a little bit. We'll eventually bring it back to music.
Oh, that's all
Yeah,
good.
sure, no problem.
This is more about casual conversations with musicians so that people can get to know them instead of like, how did you find your name for your band? What's the deep meaning behind when you say the letter A in this song? You know, we don't ask any of those kind of questions.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, so for those not familiar with Juliet Ruin, why don't you give us a little bit of introduction to the band?
Well, we formed in 2015. We have one EP and then the new album, Old Stardust, Love and Chaos, that we just released. And we have
We're an alt metal band, I'd say, probably for our genre too. Hey, like,
yeah.
yeah, we're alt metal. Yeah. We have an EP, an album, and a couple of music videos on YouTube. And yeah, we like to describe ourselves as Halloween decorations with glitter thrown on top.
I love that. That's beautiful.
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that the album is complete, how do you feel about it? And are you satisfied with the way it turns out? Or is there something you'd like to go back and change?
I feel like there's probably, at least for me, there's always something that I want to go back and change, especially after I listen to it and I'm like, that harmony would have been really good there, or something like that. But as far as the album as a whole, I'm really, really happy with it. I think we're all happy with it. It came out exactly as it should have and kind of set us up for what we want to move into with, our evolution of sound kind of. So it's been really great.
Is the writing process like one particular band member? Is it more the efforts of, everybody? Does everybody contribute equally, or how does that work out?
Well, we try to do it as collaboratively as possible. Oftentimes it'll be one guitar player or the other comes in with a riff or two, and then we collaborate on creating a whole skeleton. Or even sometimes one member will come in with a pretty much full skeleton of a song ready to go. Usually it'll go that way. Instrumentalists will collab on the music part, and once we have a good structure, then we hand it off to Jess when she puts the words to it.
Awesome.
Usually. Yeah.
So where did you track the album?
We tracked the album at Oracle Recording Studios. It's actually here in Sherwood Park. It's
Okay.
run by Diego Fernandez, who is in the band Eye of Horus.
Okay.
And we just did it there at his place. It was nice and convenient because it's nice and close. And also his his work was just top notch compared to anything we've had before in the past. We just really enjoyed him. I mean, not that any of our other work has been bad, but we really clicked with Diego, and he really brought the vision to life.
Yeah, he definitely became another band member for the process, which we really enjoy out of a producer. So it was a lot of fun. Really cool. Really cool guy.
Producers can kind of become like a fifth member of the band, that people don't really know about when they see the band or hear the record, but they really can add. They bring in that outside kind of vision, They're not so deeply involved in the song that they can kind of see things sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like an involved, fresh ear to the whole thing. It's really cool.
Do you find it, or did you ever find it difficult to turn over that controller? Were there any kind of head button where, they've got control of it, but it's not the way you wanted it to go?
No, I wouldn't say so. We actually were pretty easy on any like major changes that he thought might have been needed. We had a couple of big things happen in the studio. And it was fairly collaborative. It wasn't like, I hate this, do this. It was like, this doesn't sound great to an outside ear. What can we make changes of? And it's more collaborative than do this instead.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool. Yeah, no, I know a lot of bands are using Phil Anderson and at Power Sound, if that's still around in Edmonton.
Yeah.
I don't know, Diego. I'll have to look it up. Check it out.
He's pretty awesome.
I still know like a lot of bands in Edmonton, in the Edmonton area. So, and I mix for a lot of bands from Edmonton. So, or from that area. So when next time I get asked about it, I'll check that out. Thank you for telling me about it.
Sure.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, give her.
When you guys are you writing the song like for the song's sake, or are you writing the song like how it will come across on stage live? Like, hey, this will be a good part for a breakdown or a circle pit or that sort of thing.
Usually it's just for the song's sake, and the live stuff kind of comes as we build the song. Like once the song kind of comes into its own, once you start having all the vocals added in. Some of those live things kind of become ideas like, well, what if we put a pause here that would really add some tension and that really get some crowd participation? And we have ideas like that. They usually come afterwards, not during the genesis.
Although we are looking into kind of like approaching songwriting in different ways for this next little bit. So who knows? Like, I think we might try to imagine it on the stage first beforehand and kind of write that way too in the future.
Yeah, I know bands work both ways. I was just curious, if you've had any experience either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce and I always ask people about their use of technology right now. How are you guys embracing like the audio technology revolution in your writing?
Well, honestly, with the writing process for this album and previous, we haven't used a lot of it. Recently, we did our pre-production with our bassist Cody. He kind of has a handle on the Pro Tools. Yeah. We did like pre-production for the record for that. So we kind of recorded our own little demos before going into the studio. And that really helped iron things out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But as just writing from the ground, we haven't really tried that too much.
You know what? That's really cool. That's like, that's old school. We've been interviewing a lot of bands and they're like, oh yeah, we wrote like, who was it? A Legion. None of them live in the same town.
Or even the same state.
Yeah, not even the same state. So they're just emailing ideas back and forth and adding their parts and sending it back. And then they don't actually get to hear the song as a band until they get together like a few days before they hit the studio.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's neat, but it's a good way to do that. I've talked to friends where they're like, well, that way you can write music that you can't play yet and then learn how to play it.
I guess that's true. I never thought about that.
That could explain a few of the Trainwreck live shows I've seen.
Right. And I have my own thoughts because I'm old school. Like, I get it. And if it works for, bands emailing stuff, but I'm like, from the early 80s kind of thing. And I think that there's something magical and organic and that happens when you're all writing together and banging stuff off each other.
Totally, I agree. That can be a really good experience. You can kind of get into a state of flow with everybody else and get some lightning in a bottle situations really easily that way.
Yeah. So, what about touring? Are you guys doing any touring coming up?
Well, we're still kind of we have our own day jobs, and we're just kind of doing a few like weekend runs this fall. Haven't plans for the new year yet. We're still working on the schedule for that, but we just kind of had like about nine shows between August and October, and that's kind of our run for the album.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's hard to tour in Canada. I don't think Bruce really gets it, but like the distance between places is massive. You know, like
yeah, you break it into chunks, like Eastern and Western.
yeah, and even that could be like a 2-week run. Like
even then, yeah, it's insane.
Like I live in the DC area, and I moved from Vancouver to here. And when I got here, I was just like, holy crap, like Pittsburgh's 2 hours away, and then there's Baltimore and DC, and Richmond is 2 hours away, and
yeah,
you know, there's so many places. And so touring bands have just their choice of where they're going to go, really, especially for an indie band. They could really saturate an area and not really ever have to leave home, you know?
Yeah, 2 hours of driving a day as opposed to up here where it's like 6 to 12.
Yeah,
exactly.
I toured from Vancouver through Alberta and Winnipeg. We did like 5 shows. It took us a week.
Really?
Or a week and a half, yeah. Because from Vancouver to Edmonton is 12 hours. And then
wow.
And then from Edmonton to Calgary, or Edmonton to Red Deer was what, an hour and a half maybe? And then Red Deer to Calgary was another hour and a half. And then you got to go all the way to Saskatoon or Regina, which is like, you know, another 8 hours. And then you got to get to Winnipeg, which is God knows how long. I can't remember.
Yeah, like we just went to Vancouver last weekend, and Kent and our other guitar player, Wesley, we all drove up together, and then 3 of us flew home, and the 2 of them did the 13-hour drive in one sitting. It was just crazy.
Yeah, it's brutal. Where in Vancouver?
It's that spread apart that there's nothing in between? Like no places to stop off and play?
No.
Sometimes places, but not really, like especially between like Alberta and BC, there's like...
Yeah, I mean, between here and Vancouver, there's like Kelowna is a pretty decent city to play in, but that's still 8 hours from here and 4 hours from Van. So
yeah.
There is a good metal promoter in Vernon that they put on the Armstrong Death Fest, I think it's called.
Yeah, the Armstrong Metal Fest. Yeah, I know the Jesse Valstar runs the Armstrong Metal Fest. Yeah, they do that. That's every year, and it's huge and it's awesome.
Yeah, it looks really amazing.
My friend Allison helps out with that quite a bit. That festival. So I know that they promote in Vernon and in around Vernon quite a bit. But I'm not sure if Armstrong's even close to Vernon. But anyways, but where did you play in Vancouver?
We played at a little pub on Hastings, Pat's Pub.
Oh, Pat's Pub. That must have been fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good place for sure.
Yeah, that place has like a dedicated metal place. Like there's always people that go to metal shows at Pat's. It's really, it's an interesting area of town, but you know, it's safe, which is nice.
Nice.
Bruce, you don't know anything about Hastings, do you?
I don't know anything about it there at all.
It's the poorest area in all of North America.
No, really?
Yeah.
And where is that at?
Vancouver. It's in downtown Vancouver.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's terrible down there. It's sad, actually. It's hard. But they're kind of gentrifying it, so there's a lot of cool places that are popping up in there, too.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard.
Down there, for sure.
What's that? They
have some pretty cool venues there, for sure.
Oh, yeah. The Rickshaw is another venue that a guy named Mayo books all the time. So
yeah, Rickshaw is so cool. We've also played at the Astoria down there too, which is also pretty.
The Astoria is such a classic room. It's pretty.
Yeah, it's a nice place. We had a lot of fun there too.
Nice.
Awesome. So I don't know how much you've seen or listened to this podcast, but we like to have a lot of fun, and Chris kind of rolls his eyes when we come to this point in the interview. But I have a few questions to ask you that have nothing to do with music. Kind of a bit ridiculous, but give fans a chance to get to know you better. You guys game?
Yes, absolutely.
So Don't hold back. We're not worried about language. You can do whatever you want to do here, all right?
Okay.
And don't shoot the messenger. I'm just asking you the questions.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, here we go. What 3 things could you buy in the grocery store that would make the cashier the most uncomfortable?
A toaster, a bubble bath, and some cheese.
Well, at least it wasn't razors. That was
Right.
good, man. This is going down to a dark place.
All right, hang on. Let me pull them up. We good?
Yep.
Sorry, I know they're ridiculous, but so which of the 7 dwarfs is most like you, and why?
I would say I'll answer this one. I'll definitely be grumpy.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm as far as the band perspective goes, I'm always the one that's like, no, we got to stop being douches and we got to go do work.
I'm
We got to
crying.
stop screwing around and go do work. I'm the grump.
He's absolutely right.
Stop smoking that legal weed.
By the way, you guys are lucky up there. There's no such thing as that here in Virginia.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, it's been nice to have the stigma dropped a little bit. It's nice to see little old ladies wandering into pot shops. It's really a neat thing to see.
Oh, man. Do I have a
That must
story
be
about
great.
that I probably shouldn't share?
So now you got to share it.
Okay.
yeah.
I won't name who this lady is, but she's older, and I was on the phone with her. She's my mom. Oops. And my whole life growing up in Drayton Valley, I was in high school. She's like, "Have you ever smoked weed?" And I was like, no. She's just like, "Well, I heard from my friends that you're smoking weed." And I was like, "No." I was. And so anyways, I'm on the phone with her the other day, and she's like, I got these really great chocolates from a friend. I was like, "Oh, I didn't know edibles were legal in Alberta yet, or in Canada yet." She's like, "Well, it's happening soon, but I have a guy." And I was just like,
Nice.
"What?"
Your mom's got a
And
guy.
she's like, I really want to try brownies. And I was just like, "What? You're like
The hell's
70 years
going on?"
old. You're 70.
Awesome.
And she's like the most Christian woman you'll ever meet. It was pretty funny.
Oh, that's so.
That's pretty good.
And Bruce, you're
All right,
driving.
we're still,
I was there
Go
in
ahead.
July, driving down the street, and it's like, "Blunt sold here." I was just like,
really?
"What?" Yeah, dude, it's fucked up.
That is awesome.
It was pretty cool, yeah.
So I've got one more on this crazy route, and then we'll go back to some more serious stuff before you run to the end. Are we still good?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Randomly, would you rather eat a stick of butter or snort a tablespoon of salt? Look at Chris.
I think I would rather eat the butter because with a little bit of flour and sugar, you just have some shortbread cookies.
I think I couldn't do the salt at all.
No, I'm not. I'm no Ozzy Osbourne. It ain't gonna happen.
Actually,
Sorry.
the last time we were in Vancouver, not this time, but last year, we were sitting around a table having some drinks with the band before the show, and our guitar player Wesley is very easy to influence, and we were able to get him to snort some seasoning salt.
Truffle salt.
Oh,
Wow.
God.
See, I didn't even know that come into that question. That's beautiful.
Isn't that lovely?
It's very band loving. Yeah, that's how you know your band loves you. Sniff this.
Nice.
It's like Spinal Tap.
It is.
Nice. Chris, you got anything else before we take care of housekeeping?
No, not at all. I don't have that accent anymore, do I?
No, nothing like that.
That was heavy, man. I
It was
just like,
very.
I was like, Jesus.
It was very heavy.
When I was in
wasn't bad,
Alberta,
right?
I noticed it, but it's not like that in Vancouver. Like the accents aren't like that. But man, oh man, I was just like, holy shit. Yeah, thanks for listening
Yeah.
to the Brutally Delicious podcast, okay?
Thank you. I got a little tongue tied. You forgot the A at the end.
A?
Yeah, but thanks for listening. Go check out Juliet Ruin, and catch you on the next time.
See ya.
Hello out there. Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.